everybody. That's the only bit I know without looking at my words. Oh, good evening, band. What about my signature tune? Huh? Good old Brahms. Do you know, I asked a chap the other day if he liked Brahms, and he said he preferred shrimps. I didn't laugh either. Anyway, that wasn't Brahms. That wasn't Brahms, it was Bizet.
Bizet!
Pardon?
Bizet!
Ah, vous parlez français almost as good as vous parlez anglais. Anyway, you're quite right, boys. Bizet, not Bizet. The tea is weak as in boarding house. Now, pay attention, boys. Bizet wrote two very famous works, Carmen and Little Man, You've Had a Bizet Day. Excuse me, Mr. Shadwell, does your band play anything by request?
Oh, yes, rather.
Ask them to play poker while I'm on, will you? Nice fella, Charles, aren't you, Charles? You know, Mr. Shadwell and I studied together in Paris, didn't we, Charles?
Yes, not the same subject.
Not the same subject. No, you're quite right there. He's cracking me gags for me. Well, now... Well, enough of this. Let me get at my public. Now, by way of a start, dear people, incidentally, I do hope the audience in the studio is going to laugh at me tonight. I had a peep at them before I came on. I had a darn good laugh at them, so they got a chance of getting their own back. Treat them rough. Not that they're a bad-looking audience, because I may say that in my long, varied, and distinguished career, I've never had the opportunity of entertaining such a good-looking audience as we have here in the studio tonight. Mind you, on looking round, there are one or two glaring exceptions, but on the whole, I feel they're a very good-looking audience. Mind you, I wouldn't say all this. I merely do so because I know they're a friendly audience. I could judge that by their modicum of applause when I walked on the stage here, because I always judge my audience by their applause and by the way they applaud. For instance, I always know when my barber's in the audience. He always applauds like this. That'll be a better gag when television comes in. But he's a very funny fellow, my barber. He's got a very wrinkled face. They tell me his mother was very fond of prunes, but a very, very nice man. And he's got about 1,000 lines across his forehead. He wears a bowler hat and has to screw it on, but he's an awfully nice chap. But, you know, the other day I went to have a shave, and he said an extraordinary thing to me. He said, "Excuse me, sir, what did you have for breakfast?" Oh, I said, "Eggs and bacon." He said, "Did you have any tomato sauce with it?" I said, "No." He said, "Then, lummy, I have cut your throat." Quite a nice chap. I would like him. I remember about 3 weeks ago, I was... Wait a minute. What's the matter, Charles? He's waving to me.
Well, there's a note for you here, Arthur.
Well, I say, you mustn't interrupt me while I'm saying my party piece.
Oh?
Might be from the laundry, you know. I mean, you've got to be careful, old boy.
It probably is. It's marked urgent.
Is it? Let's have a look at it. Excuse me, folks, while I have a look at my fan mail, will you?
I say, Arthur, you didn't mind me handing that note up to you, did you?
Pardon?
I say that you're not annoyed with me handing that note up to you.
Oh, no, I asked you to, didn't I?
I think you
Rehearsal
did.
this morning, yeah. Oh, I say, it's from a young lady, I can tell by the scent. Really? Carbolic, my favourite. Oh, she says, "Dear Mr. Askey, I enjoyed your last broadcast so much, I feel I must send you a little present. So I enclose herewith a nice tie. Or I could just do with a new tie. Wait a minute, there's no tie. On second thoughts, I don't know your taste in ties, so perhaps you'd better choose one for yourself, for which I enclose a postal order for 7 and 6. Oh, that's better still. I could just do with a postal order for 7 and 6. Wait a minute, there's no postal order. On second thoughts, I remember that my wireless license cost me 10 shillings, so if you will send me a postal order for 2 and 6 and buy the tie yourself, we shall be quits. Hoping you've had some other nice presents besides mine, ever your devoted fan, Ruby Ironsides. Well, would you believe that? I'll bet that's from my brother's wife, the cat. You don't know her, do you, Charles?
No, when can I meet her?
She's a horrible woman. She says she's got blue blood in her... She says she's got blue blood in her veins. Every time her nose bleeds, she fills a fountain pen, but she's quite a nice old really. But not that I like running women down, because after all, 95% of the mothers of today are women. And the girl of today is the mother of tomorrow. Well, not so quickly as all that, but you follow what I mean. Do you know, I came across my brother the other day. I was turning out some old suits, and he was in one of them. He's very small, my brother. I know I'm small, but he was much smaller than I am. Well, there was hardly anything of him at all. Well, if ever you saw a door open and nobody come out, that would be my brother. Tiny little chap he was, and he had enormous ears, terrific ears. Well, when he was a baby, my mother never knew whether he'd crawl or fly. You know, extraordinary little chap he was. Mind you, he's to be admired. Do you know he came to London about 10 years ago, and all he had in the world was a tin of boot polish, so he borrowed a couple of brushes to be paid for later, set up a little boot cleaning business on his own, and do you know what he's worth today?
No!
Not a sausage, and he still owes for the brushes. Well, now, dear people, I must get on with my little song. Excuse me laughing, I know what's coming, but it's awfully good. But I'd like to have done my dance for you tonight, but because my dancing's so good since I got rid of that corn. Oh, by the way, Charlie, thanks very much for recommending that stuff.
Oh, not at all.
It was simply marvellous, old boy. Do you know, the corn's completely gone.
Grand.
I suppose you can't recommend anything to bring the toe back, can you? Off we go.
I could, Arthur, but I can't do that there either.
No, keep the party as it should be. Righto, Charles, off we shoot. Once upon a time our home was happy, so we thought, and father was a decent soul, in fact he was a sport. Till he got on the wireless everything was quite alright, until the BBC put him into In Town Tonight. Since father did a broadcast at the BBC when they gave In Town Tonight. It's half a crown to speak to him, he's got a swollen head, for since he joined the radio stars he spends his time in bed. He's always hated work and any job he'll shirk, but now he's grown as useless as can be. And I think he's up the pole, he won't even draw the dough since he broadcast at the BBC. Father was a watchman at a hole in Leicester Square. They sent for him to broadcast his experiences there. They paid all his expenses, he was treated like a prince. They gave him £50 and he's not been the same girl since father did a broadcast at the BBC when they gave In Town Tonight. He puts in all his H's when he speaks, it sounds so queer. He's always sending SOS's to the pub for beer. He's always hated work and any job he'd shirk, but now he's grown as useless as can be. When he turns out the light, he says we'll close down for tonight, since he broadcast at the BBC. Since father did a broadcast at the BBC when they gave In Town Tonight. He says the summonses he gets are letters from his fans. He has a red lamp burning when he goes to wash his hands. He's always hated work and any job he'd shirk, but now he's grown as useless as can be. He lisps and rolls his eyes 'cause he wants to tell him lies, since he broadcast at the BBC.